Richard Branson, my first question to you is why are you against independence for Scotland?
Well, I'm known as Dr. Yes. The rogue in me would love to say yes, but the pragmatic, maybe entrepreneur has looked at both sides of the border and seen the effect that I think it could have. And I firmly believe that Scottish people should remain part of the UK, but have a lot more powers devolved to them. And I think the same applies to Wales. And I think if they do that, they'll get the best of both worlds. If they go independent, it's going to be horribly uncertain for both Scotland and the rest of the UK. And I think we could all be sorry for it. I'm sitting here in the centre of London. There's enormous wealth pouring into Great Britain from overseas. A lot of great businesses setting up both in the UK and around the UK. And a lot of those tax benefits will not be forthcoming to Scotland. My wife is from Glasgow, my mother's from Edinburgh, and they both said that if we'd done it 30 years ago, they would have voted yes. But Scotland didn't do it 30 years ago. It's doing it, near the end of, the oil flows, and there's just not enough assets for Scotland to fall back on.
You employ something like 2,000 people in Scotland. What's your message to those employees of yours?
I don't want to talk about Virgin because I think there's a much bigger issue at hand than Virgin, and I personally would be very, very sad to see Scotland separating from the rest of the UK. And I know there's heated debate in Scotland about this, and people feel vehemently one way or the other. But south of the border, I would say 90% of people want Scottish people to remain part of the UK. And it's up to us to push our politicians to make sure that Scottish people get what they want, but get the benefits of being part of the UK as well.
But Richard, let me just push you just a little bit on your business, because other business leaders, supermarket bosses have said things will change if there is independence. We've heard of banks moving their business south of the border if it goes that way. Will Virgin have to change if they vote yes here?
We will address that when it comes to it. I think there is a danger that Scottish taxes will go up higher than British taxes. If that happens, we'd have to make decisions. But I really don't want to sort of just talk about Virgin. I'd rather talk about Scotland as a whole, and whether it's good for Scottish people to be independent of Great Britain or not. And having looked at all the facts, I genuinely feel that it's better that Scotland stays part of the UK, gains the benefits of the big UK issues, but also gets the benefit of much more devolved powers. If I may compare it, say, to Virgin as a company, we've got a lot of subsidiary companies, but those subsidiary companies are that much stronger by having Virgin, the parent company, working with them than being cut astray. And I think the same applies to Scotland.